Hi guys, thank you for watching my previous video. Today we are looking at functions and graphs. So now, this question, we have two plans, plan A and plan B. And we are asked to use Y to represent plan A and Z to represent plan B. Okay, so let's label the axis. T for the horizontal axis, charges in terms of dollar for the vertical axis. So for plan B, Y equals to 10 plus 0.5 T. And for plan B, we have no basic charge, therefore we have only 0.75 T. So now we are asked to draw Y and Z on this graph. It's easy, right? So to draw out Y, so it starts from 10 when T equals to 0. And when T equals to 20, Y equals to 20, not 30. So I need to erase one cross. And when T equals to 40, and your Y equals to 30. And last but not least, when T equals to 60, your Y is 40. Therefore, I have drawn 4 crosses in red for Y. So now I'm going to draw Z. So Z starts from 0. And when T equals to 40, my Z equals to 30. And when T equals to 20, my Z equals to 15. And my Z equals to 60, when my T equals 60, my Z equals to 45. But anyway, I'm using blue crosses to represent my Z. So what I need to do, I just need to link them up. So first I will link all my red crosses up, and that will be my equation of, that will represent my equation of Y. And I'm going to link up my blue crosses as well. And this line will represent my Z. So I hope you know how to do these kind of questions. It's not very hard. So after that, I have drawn my Y and Z. I just need to darken it using different colors. I'm going to use red to represent my Y. I'm going to use blue to represent my Z. So I have darkened both of them. And let me save it before I continue. So the only thing left is to label each line. And remember, after drawing every graph, you need to label it with the correct equation. So my blue line is represented by my Z. And my red line is represented by my Y. And you see that I have mixed them up. So I'm going to delete this and correct it right now. Blue for Z, red for Y. Remember this. So therefore, give me some time to correct it. Be patient there. Okay, I'm done. So red is represented by my Y. Therefore, Y equals to 10 plus 0.5 T. And blue is represented by my Z equals to 0.75 T. So I have done part B. In part C, we are asked to find the interval of connection time for which the monthly charge of plan B is cheaper than that of plan B. So from the graph, you can see that plan B is below plan A from 0 to 40. So this shows that the charges of plan B is lower than the charges of plan A from 0 to 40. Therefore, the interval of connection time is from 0 to 40. So this is the answer for part C. So let's move on to the next slide. So over here we have an equation of quadratic graph is represented by y equals to bracket x plus 3 bracket 4 minus x, and the graph cuts the x-axis at a and b. Therefore the coordinates of a is x1, 0. Coordinates of b is x2, 0. And it also cuts the y-axis at c, and the coordinate of c is 0, y1. So we are asked to find the coordinates of point C. Simple, right? For point C, we already know x equals to 0. Therefore, sub it in, and you should find y. So after substituting x equals to 0 in, you get y equals to 12. Therefore, the coordinate of C is 0 and 12. So now, we are asked to find the coordinates of point A and B for part B. Therefore, you know y equals to 0. Therefore, substitute y equals to 0 into the quadratic equation, and therefore you should find x equals to minus 3 or x equals to 4, and therefore the coordinates of A is minus 3, 0, because A is on the left of B. So B is equals to, the coordinate of B is equals to 4, 0. So we have solved part A and part B, and now we are asked to express the equation in this kind of form. When you see this kind of form, the question is simply asking you to complete the square. So to complete the square, first you have to expand the quadratic equation given, which means open a bracket. So after opening the bracket, you should get minus x squared plus x plus 12. And to complete the square, you must make sure that the coefficient of x squared is positive. Therefore, you take out this minus sign and you get bracket x squared minus x minus 12. Only now you can go ahead and complete the square. So as you complete the square, you have introduced a plus 1/4 here. So you have to minus the 1/4 again. So in order to complete the square, you introduce a plus 1/4. But in maths, anything you introduce, you must minus it off somehow to make the value of the equation remain the same. And therefore, you continue and then you put the minus sign back into the bracket, and you should get this after completing the square. So now, part D, you are asked to find the minimum or maximum point of the graph. So given this equation, the coefficient of your x squared is negative. So negative coefficient of x squared denotes a negative denotes a frown face, therefore is a maximum point. Positive denotes a happy face, smiley face, therefore is a minimum point. So minus maximum point, positive minimum point. In this case, minus maximum point. So you can read this maximum point of your completing square result, which is the maximum point should be half and 49 over 4. So after that, we are asked to sketch the graph. So with 3 coordinates A, B, C, they are the intersection points with x-axis or y-axis, and this maximum point, with these 4 points, I think you can draw a very good sketch. This kind of question comes out in O-level very often, so you must know how to draw and how to complete the square. So let's draw out ABC first. So not only you need to label ABC, you also need to write down their coordinates. Otherwise, you will be penalized. And these kind of questions usually are worth 3 marks. So if you want to get 3 marks, remember how to complete the square and draw it out. So I have drawn 4 crosses the 4 points we have found. So I'm able to sketch the graph out. So after sketching the graph, the last thing is you need to write down the equation of this graph. A lot of students, they forget to write down the equation of the graph. Therefore, they get penalized for 1 mark. It's not worth it. Okay? So, as I'm writing down the equation of the graph, and let's take a look at part F. So, find the equation of the line BC. So, when you are asked to find the equation of any line, the general formula is y equals to mx plus c. So basically now your focus should be on point B and point C. So the general formula for equation of line is y equals to mx plus c, while m equals to y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. Therefore, you just take your y1 x1 from B and y2 x2 from your C, and then you will get your m. So your m should be minus 3. And now you're left to find c. C is the y-intercept. You know that c cuts the y-axis at 12. Therefore, your c is equals to plus 12. Therefore, y equals to minus 3x plus 12 is the equation of the line BC. Okay. So I hope you know how to find the equation of the line right now. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, over here we have a question. We are given the exact x and y coordinates of this graph, y equals to a over x squared plus bx. And now we are asked to use a scale of 2 cm to represent 1 unit on x-axis, 2 cm to represent 10 units on the y-axis. So let's do part A first. So part A, we are asked to draw this graph out. Use a scale of 2 cm to represent 1 unit on the x-axis. So I have drawn them already for both axes, x-axis and y-axis. So now, when x equals to 0.5, y equals to 49.5. I have one cross already. Next, 0.8, 21.15 for y. So another cross. Okay, the third point, 1 and 15. This is the easiest point. 2 and 9, not that hard. 3 and 10 and 1/3. And this is slightly hard. And it's okay if you miss a little bit. 4 and 12.75. When it comes to sketching or when it comes to drawing graph, it's okay to miss a little bit. There is some tolerance you are allowed to miss by. Last, 5, 15.48. So after that, you just have to link up all these points. I know it's very hard to link up all these points. You can use French curve, you can use a flexible ruler, or you can even use freehand like I do. But whatever you use, try to make your curve as smooth as possible. And by the way, it's hard for me to make the curve smooth here unless I do it when I don't show it. So when I have to show it live, it's impossible, or it will take a lot of time if I have to make it smooth. So I hope you understand. So I just draw it to the best of my ability here to save some time. Yes, so I have linked all the points up. So this is my graph for part A. So after that, let's take a look at part B. Part B says use your graph to find the value of y when x equals to 4.5. Therefore, find where is your x equals to 4.5 first. So x equals to 4.5, go up. So go to your y-axis. That should be 14, right? So just read it off your graph. When x equals to 4.5, y equals to 14. Next, the value of x for which y equals to 12. Okay, so go to your graph once again. So when y equals to 12, let's count. Where's y equals to 12? Okay, this is y equals to 14. No, I shouldn't read that because that is y equals to 14. So sometimes when you read graph, you have to be really careful because the small squares are very confusing here. So you have to really pay attention. As I have made a mistake here, I'm reading y equals to 14 instead of y equals to 12. But when I read it off, I realize I make a mistake. I should read y equals to 12 instead of y equals to 14. So I will correct my mistake right away here. So you see me erase it. So mark your y equals to 12 and therefore you get 2 points of x. Therefore I've marked them down. So read them off the graph. So when y equals to 12, x equals to 1.25 and x equals to 3.75. Once again, if you miss it by a little bit, it's okay. So part C, draw a tangent, find the gradient of the curve at the point where x equals to 1. So at x equals to 1, I have drawn this tangent. So after drawing this tangent, I need one pair of coordinates. No, not one pair. I need two coordinates to find the gradient because gradient formulas m equals to y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. Therefore, I need my x1, y1, I need my x2, y2. Therefore, I need two sets of coordinates. So one set of the coordinate is 0.4, 24. Another set is 1.5 and 5.5 here. So with these two sets of coordinates, I'm able to find my gradient. So once again, gradient formula is y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. So if you're observant enough, you see that I have x2 minus x2. No, it should be x1 minus x2 here. I will correct it on my slide. Okay. So put in all the numbers, take out your calculator and punch your calculator. You should get 18.5 on the top and minus 1.1 at the bottom. So once again, take out your calculator and punch in 18.5 divided by minus 1.1. You should get 17.4. Minus 17.4, I'm sorry. So right now, part D, if the line y equals k is tangent to the curve, k is a constant, find the value of k. So line y equals to k is tangent to the curve. So tangent to the curve means this line is a horizontal line to the curve. Okay. So tangent to the curve means horizontal line to the curve. So you need to know and understand the meaning of tangent to the curve. So when you have a horizontal line, this horizontal line can only happen at maximum point or minimum point. It can only happen at the maximum point or minimum point. And for this graph, we only have a minimum point. Therefore, if I were to draw this tangent to the curve, it should be at 2 equals to or it should be at x equals to 2 when y equals to 9. So only at this point I have a tangent to the curve. So I'm drawing it in the diagram right now, and let me darken it and use red to represent this tangent to the curve. Therefore, what's the equation of this line? The equation of this line is y equals to 9. So over here it's not 9.2, okay? It's not 9.1, it's not 9.2, it's 9. Refer to your question. You should see that when x equals to 2, y equals to 9 only. I will correct it later. So the value of k is 9. Now we are asked to find the values of a and b. Okay. So to find the value of a and b, let's write down what is the question given here. The question given is y equals to a over x squared plus bx. So we have two unknowns a and b here. We are asked to find the values of a and b. Okay. So what we need to do? So very simple. If we have two unknowns a and b, if we need to find out what is a and b, right? So we can just find two sets of x and y and just sub it in. We will end up with a simultaneous equation. So with a simultaneous equation, two unknown, two equation, you can solve the simultaneous equation, right? Yeah, so let's go ahead to find two sets of x and y. In fact, we do not have to find, we just need to pick from what we are given in the table. So I have decided to choose these 2 points. One set of coordinate is 1 and 15. The other set is 2 and 9. So I will just sub these two sets into the equation given, and I have 2 equations. So we just need to solve this simultaneous equation. So I will leave it to you to solve this simultaneous equation, and you should get a equals to 12, therefore b equals to 3. So I hope you have learned a lot in this chapter, how to draw a graph, how to sketch a graph. Thank you for watching. Bye.